My name is Sean Thompson, and the claim I will be responding to is that purchasing a PC over a Mac will have sufficient advantages. My opponent's first secondary claim was that PCs cost substantially less than Macs. And his second secondary claim was that PCs have a much wider range of selection than Macs. My response to my opponent's first claim that PCs cost substantially less than Macs is that they cost about the same. I will start with an evidence challenge. This is that PCs cost more than my opponent presented them to be. My opponent said on BestBuy.com 85% of the PC laptops range from $200 and $299 to $1,400. While this may be the case, the entire range of prices for PCs is from $299 to $2,199. Next is my counterclaim that PCs cost about the same as Macs. On BestBuy.com, the range of Macs is from $999 to $2,499, which is fairly similar to the price for PCs. Second, I found I'm going to compare two computers, the Apple MacBook Pro and the Toshiba Cosmeo laptop. The Apple MacBook Pro comes with an Intel Core i7 processor, a 13.3-inch display, 4 gigabytes of memory, and 750 gigabyte hard drive. And the price for that is $1,499.99. And the Toshiba Cosmeo laptop also comes with an Intel Core i7 processor, a 15.6-inch display, 4 gigabytes of memory, and a 750 gigabyte hard drive. Also for the price of $1,499.99. As you can see, the only difference between these two laptops is the screen size and the operating system that comes with that particular price, that particular type of computer. This leads me to my response to my opponent's second secondary claim. My opponent's second secondary claim was that PCs have a much wider range of selection than Macs. My counterclaim to this is that you have as many choices with a Mac as a PC. This is because you can run Windows software, the main operating system used in PCs, on a Mac. Using a system called Boot Camp, you can install Windows software on a Mac. Jason Snell of Macworld.com explains Boot Camp is software that helps users of Intel-based Macs install and use Windows XP on those systems. Boot Camp Assistant helps you change the setup of your hard drive so that it has two portions, your existing Mac volume and a new Windows compatible volume. The Assistant also burns a CD-ROM that contains drivers, files that Windows needs so that it can operate your Mac's hardware efficiently. Once the Boot Camp Assistant does its job, your Mac reboots, and thanks to a recent firmware update, you can insert your Windows XP installation CD, and it will be recognized as a bootable volume. When the lengthy Windows installation process concludes, you insert the CD-ROM that Boot Camp Assistant burned, which installs the appropriate Windows drivers, as well as a Windows utility, much like the Startup Disk Preference pane, that lets you choose your startup volume. In this quote, Jason Snell uses the term volume the same way someone else might use the term system or operating system. So, after using the Boot Camp system on a Mac, you can use your Windows operating system. Therefore, you have as many choices with a Mac as you do with a PC. So, to sum up, My opponent's main argument was that purchasing a PC over a Mac will have significant advantages, and he supported this claim with two secondary claims. The first, that PCs cost substantially less than Macs, which I countered with proof of how Macs and PCs cost about the same. The second was that PCs have a much wider range of selections than Macs, which I proved was not the case because the boot camp system allows Windows software to be installed on a Mac, so you have as many choices with a Mac as a PC. I believe this proves that there are not significant advantages in buying a PC over a Mac. Thank you for your attention.
Right, you have an awkward moment at the beginning because the claim is not stated the way the original claim was. You just transposed a couple of letters and you said sufficient versus significant. So you want to be careful about something like that. But the secondary issues were labeled pretty clearly. You have a counterclaim on costs at the beginning. And, I'm not sure that the range argument that you're making is too dissimilar. It's a reasonable option to talk about. However, when the advocate used that notion that 85% of the PCs that are purchased are in a particular range, that really makes it sound like you're stretching a little to come into that particular range. I thought that was okay. The comparison that you give of the two compatible machines and say, let's just talk about two machines that have the same basic function, size, specifications, all those kinds of things. When you talked about the price comparison on them, I thought that was really a pretty strong argument. The other kinds of computers probably are different because of the amount of memory that they provide, or the hard drive, or the size of the screen, or ancillary options that you have, CD-ROMs, all those kinds of things, DVD drives, that kind of stuff, and certainly you can drive those up to the same cost as a Mac. But the question is, a Mac, you don't get a Mac without what comes with the Mac. It's not like you can buy a stripped-down Mac. They pretty much come the way they are. I like the argument that you have on the second point that in essence says that they can provide a lot of the same services. I'm not sure that the operating system is the same thing that the advocate's talking about here, but I think that you make a pretty good argument here that makes, for instance, software available on the Macs that would be comparable, and I think that's a pretty reasonable argument. I thought you had a good summary of your argument at the end. You need to work a little bit on your eye contact and pacing, have a little bit more energy and focus on the audience while you're speaking. All right, thank you.